Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lili and Friends. Today I have my very good friend Bertha. We've met at our insurance hospital where we had our kids in mom's group. It was a nice one because she had a little girl that was a bit older than my son, and we kind of, talked about experiences and stuff, and she's been really good to us, and she's been a good friend to us. So let's see what she has to say. Yay. So Bertha, how are you?
Hi, I'm alive.
That's very important to know. So I know this is hard times, huh? It's hard times
Yeah,
to live now because we're confined, and you especially because you have two kids now,
yeah,
correct?
correct.
Yeah, how old are they now? Because I know we've been confined, so we kind of lost track of everybody's birthdays and stuff, which is
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, I know it sucks.
Yeah.
The oldest one, it's a girl, and she's 2 years and 9 months. And the youngest one, it's a boy, and he's 1 year, 3 days.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. His birthday was just 3 days ago.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I
last
can't.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's been so much time that we've not seen each other and stuff. I still remember when you were pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a year ago. Hard to believe.
Yeah, I know it's hard. And when he was born, like we visited, and he was just a small
Yes,
baby, and
I
oh,
know. Yeah,
I
it
know.
flies, but so fast.
Yeah, I know. I get that. So how's things with your kids now that they're a bit older?
They are fun. I I am busy all day with them, spending time like just playing and dancing or reading books or just telling them don't do this, don't do that, and they are like a dynamite duo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet. Can your son already walk and stuff?
No, he's
Okay.
clean and he can pull himself up and just grabbing things, like helping him with the couch or with a chair or just a big toy, something. But he can just standing up with that, and he can climb the stairs now.
Um,
Uh,
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't know how to go down. So I have to help him every time he goes up. And my oldest one is like, Mommy, baby's falling or something like that, like, so I have to run.
Yeah, because she's older, so she knows all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God. She's. I mean, your kids are the cutest thing ever,
Oh,
but
thank you.
she always had my heart. She is. As soon as I entered that building to the mom's cafe thing,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm hoping she's there today. I will see
Oh,
my baby girl. Oh, she's the best. And
yeah.
then I will be like, hi, and she'll shy up and she won't say
Yeah.
anything. And
He's
so,
still the same. Nothing has changed.
and I bet even now, like it's even worse because we're home and we don't see anybody and stuff. So it's even harder for her, right? To just say
Yeah,
hi to people, maybe, huh?
exactly. Yeah, she's just like that. And these days are horrible. So she keeps that personality.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to ask you because I don't think we even spoke about it after,
Mhm,
because I remember when you had your son,
mhm.
um, things weren't good with your first kid. She was a bit
Oh,
jealous. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
yeah, I mean, I remember the first day, I mean, when she meet her brother at the hospital, it was kind of, heartbreaking for me because when she entered to the room, she was like, "Who is that?" You know.
Yeah.
He didn't want it. She didn't want to for me to hold her. You know, she was all the time on her daddy's arms.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "No, I'm not gonna go with you, not at all." And you remember, she was so attached to me that it was like, "What? Are you
Yeah.
serious, Jimena?" You know?
Oh.
Yeah, because I was holding her brother. So I had to put her brother aside, you know, on the bassinet, and then she could go with me. But it was like 15 minutes later. So at the beginning was that. And then she was like, please read me a book and just playing with her, you know, in that moment. When we got home, she was like, huh, that's interesting, you know, like a baby. Someone smaller than me, you know, like, huh.
Yeah. He's not gonna go away. What's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah, but we try to keep her like just attached to us, you know, like please help me with this, bring some wipes and some diapers. Let's gonna change your brother's diaper or something like that, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
pillow just to feed him or something. Just try to involve her in all the things with the baby. And she was really good. And now she is still a little bit jealous because all there is doing, she just imitates him. Everything. I mean, if I have to hold him, she goes with me and hold him, mama, and you know, everything, everything. So we try to do the same for her. I mean, it's natural, right?
Yeah.
Acts like that way. So we try to just give her like tons of kisses, hugs every day, sorry. And yeah, so
Yeah, it's kind of hard because again, she's a bit older, so she understands that there's a baby that needs you and stuff, but she's not old enough to understand that is a baby, so he needs
yeah,
more attention, more of mommy and daddy rather than she does.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's the hard part. And but it's good that you keep, you know, her engaged and helping with him, and you know, and I bet she tries to play with him as well. But
yeah. I mean, with him, she's awesome. I mean, she doesn't do bad things to him. You know, she's the most nurturing girl.
mm-hmm.
Awesome with him. The problem is with us. You know, the issue is with us. Yeah, because she wants more attention, as you said. So yeah, so but
Yeah, and
he's awesome with him.
right, and 2-year-olds are a handful. So
Yeah, they are like a baby teenagers.
yes, especially girls, they're very
Yeah,
dramatic.
drama. Yeah.
I know. That's why I didn't want to have a girl.
I know.
I was saying that at the pool today. We were at the pool today, and there was this girl. She was crying, and she was
I
just
know.
kind of faking it, and
Yeah.
because she didn't want to jump in the pool, and Dad was saying jump, jump, and she was like, no, I'm done. And then she started like kind of crying, and I was like, oh my God, you are, you know, you have crocodile tears. You're not actually crying. And Mom was like, I know she does that. And they're sweethearts. I love them to death. They're my neighbors, and they're really, very good people. And so I was like, see, this is exactly why I didn't want to have a girl in the first place. And people started looking at me at the pool. I was like, I don't care. Well, that's my
Yeah.
opinion, you know. Not that I don't like girls. I have a sister, and I love my sister to death as well. But I feel like I have experience, as you know. I've been babysitting. I've been a
Mhm.
toddler teacher, And, with my experience with kids, I always had a hard time with girls, and I loved boys, and I always do. So I'm glad I have a son. We'll see if we happen to have a second one. We'll see what it comes. I'm fine with whatever comes next, but I know girls are a little bit more challenging than boys, and sometimes it's it's maybe not that, but it's just the nature of the kid, like boys sometimes are a handful as well, but
I mean, we are just like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing
whatever age, for sure.
Yes, exactly. I feel like sometimes adults are even worse than kids, 2-year-olds, sometimes it's just too much. But I'm glad she, even though she still is a little bit jealous and stuff, I'm glad she's entering into the mellow side and playing with him and be nice to him and stuff. That's, she already has your guys' heart no matter what. Right? Because she knows mommy and daddy loves me, whatever. But it's better, it's good that she's actually helping with the kid and the baby. I mean, that's a really good thing. So I want to talk a little bit about, labor and stuff, because I feel like it's always nice to share our stories. I don't think I ever shared my story here on the podcast. Maybe we'll be the first with you, but let's start with you. So how was the first time with your daughter?
It was exhausting because it was like almost 25 hours since I induced, like 25 hours later, Jimena was born. And it was just desperate, like so much time. And it was hard because I was pushing so much, like more than 2 hours.
Wow.
Because she was like changing her position at the end, and it was horrible. It was horrible. A lot of tiredness, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, because I feel like I'm pushing so hard and nothing happens,
Yeah.
So it was so exhausting, that labor. But then, I mean, at the end, of course, it was the best thing,
Yeah.
I didn't have any previous experience. So I was like, okay, it is what it is. So I have to handle it,
Yeah, I mean, the first one, it is what it is, because your body is not used to it, and your body is like, what is going on right now? And so everything is happening at the same time, and then you have to have the strength to push and do all the stuff, but then you're actually tired because you've been in labor, you're exhausted, you're tired, you just want to sleep, and you still have to push. And
and you know what, you have all the information that you can get for classes and others experiences, but it's like, okay, I have my notebook with all that information, but at the time it's like, oh my God, what should I do, right?
You're never ready, and for people that are pregnant right now, please don't be scared at all. It's all okay. It's all fine. But the thing is, we have to keep in mind that it's a natural thing. We've been doing this for thousands of years, and you're not the first one. And the thing is, even though everybody's telling you the same thing, oh, labor is hard. You please have the epidural, and if you can't be induced, please don't be induced and do natural and blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, it's all within that period of time when you start your contractions until the baby actually comes out, that you're actually experiencing whatever it is, really how to become a mom. And the thing is, even though you've been to classes, it doesn't matter. We're all different, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember being in classes and they were like, you guys got this. Let's do all these positions and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I will remember all of this, but I'll try. And then when I got to the moment of having my son, I was like, I don't even have time to do any of the positions, you know? I
Yeah.
was just walking.
Correct. Yeah.
That's all I did. They made me walk for an hour and a half, and I was like, no, I'm gonna cut it shorted. I cut it into an hour and 15 minutes. I got an hour and 15 minutes done. And I'm like, I'm too tired. I need to sleep. I need to sit down. I need to lay down. I don't know. Just I need to do something. And
yeah,
you know.
You know, something really, really funny is that when we got to the hospital, because we were with an schedule, you know, because I was induced. So my doctor in the morning told me, you have your appointment to get induced at midnight, you know, so be prepared at time and bring whatever you want. So I was, you know, with my bag, you know, I mean, for the baby, for me, I'm a stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So I bring my my yoga ball, or what is the Pilates?
Yeah, the Pilates ball. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got tons of things, you know, my pillows, and it was so fun. So when we got to the with the to the place that we were in the hospital, you know, like, so there was another family waiting for some new baby that was about to born, and we're like, why are they bringing all those things, you know? And I was like, no, I couldn't, like, no, it was so funny, and I was like, yeah.
So people were looking at you because you had all the stuff?
Yeah.
Like all your pillows? That's hilarious.
Yeah, and they were chatting about us, like, why are they bringing all those things, you know?
Oh my God.
I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, because they tell you in those classes, like, you know, bring your pillow, you know, bring your ball and stuff like bring whatever. I was like, I didn't have time to think about those stuff. You know, I had the bag ready for me and for my son. I didn't even brought a lot of stuff. I just put everything in one bag. And I'm like, you know, I'm not going to stay there for 5 days. I'm going to stay there for at least 2 nights. And that's what happened. And the thing is, like, you know, all the people but in the hospital that did the classes, they were like, please bring, you know, your own stuff because it reminds you of home. And I'm like, okay, I didn't even remember that when I got into labor, you know, but you did. And
yeah.
But did you use any of it?
Of course not. Oh, well. Yeah, the ball, yeah, because when I started to feel all the pain, that was the only way I could ease them, you know, the contractions. But
okay.
Yeah, but just that. I mean,
but, you know, even that, like, I didn't bring anything because But why were you induced, by the way?
Because Jimena was 1 week later. I mean, she was born on the 41st and a half, you know.
Same as me. My mom, my mom had me at 41 weeks and a half or something like that. But she had to be C-section. I don't know if she got induced though, but I'll ask her. But I know that I was a week or so later than. Yeah.
Okay. So it was, that day was a Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we were like, no, we have to do it now because on Thanksgiving, I don't know what is going to happen, you know. I mean, all the things that comes to your mind, and just to see a worse view of the thing, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
So we were like, no, let's do it now. And yeah, that's why I got induced that day. Yeah, and 25 hours later, she was born.
Okay, I did not know that you were past the 40 week mark. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
that's news to me. But okay, so that was a good experience. So how did it work for the second one?
Ugh, God gave me the lottery for the.
See, I'm telling you, boys are easier.
Yeah. Oh, here. I didn't have any pain until the last 40 minutes. So
Wow.
a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you told me that you even took a shower or you were about to take a shower.
It was so funny because all my in-laws were here. I mean, my parents-in-law, my sister-in-law, her children, her husband, and we were there, at the apartment. And my father-in-law told us, like, it was a Saturday, and my father-in-law, sorry, it's like, we have to have a dinner because we are all together, but we are not going out because my children, well, I mean, Jimena goes to bed really early. So he told us, no, just do it here, but something special. And I don't remember what my husband make for dinner, but I remember that I ate a lot, but a lot of the things that were that day, and I felt like, okay, I'm super full, and I felt like bigger and bigger, for all the stuff that I just ate. And my husband went to bed and everybody, so it was midnight and I was just talking when my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law and everybody just went to bed, and they were just the three of us chatting, like, I know the small things, big things, I don't remember even. So they my sister-in-law said, like, okay, I'm going to bed now, I'm so tired. And I said, yeah, me too, that's it. So when I went to bed, I was like feeling like so much pressure on my belly, but it wasn't pain at all, nothing, just like a hard belly, and so I couldn't sleep until 3 a.m. It was midnight, and then at 3 a.m. I was still awake and feeling the same, but with no pain. So remember, I was just induced, and I didn't know what to expect, with the second.
Yeah.
So I was like, are these contractions or what? I don't feel any pain at all, just the hardness of my belly, and that's it. And I said, no, maybe it's all the stuff that I just ate,
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It's coming down.
Yeah. So I remember all those tracker contractions apps, so I just downloaded one and then started like counting them, and they were 5 minutes apart on 1 minute. So it's the time that they tell you that go to the hospital, right?
Right.
So I woke up my husband and said, like, honey, I think the baby is coming. And he said, what? You're not at 3 a.m.? Come on.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So he was like, do you feel pain? And I say, yeah, I'm so confused. I'm not sure because I don't feel any pain at all. It's just the hardness on my belly, and that's it. And he was like, okay. And he asked me about the frequency, the pain or something, And I was like, yeah, maybe it is time. And he was, okay, let's talk to the hospital. And the nurse told me, okay, you have to come. And in the best case, you are going to go home again, but we have to be sure. So I remember my husband asked me if I wanted to take a shower. And I was like, you know what? No, there is 3 a.m. and with the possibility that I can come home again because maybe it's not time, you know? And he was like, okay, do as you want, you know, like,
Right.
it's up to you. So we left our apartment at 4 a.m. and by the time I just closed the apartment's door, I felt the same big contraction, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, it is, you know, it is time. So I remember all the way to the hospital, I was with my eyes closed, and just to not see all the way and all the time that, you know, like, I don't know, to get to the hospital. So
yeah, because if you have your eyes open, then you know you see where you are, you know where you are. So like, I still have more time to wait, and yeah, if you close your eyes, it probably goes faster. Yeah,
exactly. So I was in so much pain during the way to the hospital. When I got there, he asked me to if I could walk or just grab a wheelchair, and I say, let's do the wheelchair, you know, because I think I can walk.
right.
So when we were on the elevator, I remember I told him, I feel that I want to push now. And he was like, no, 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 you have to wait. You know? Yeah. And I was like, okay, but I can't. I feel so much pain. I'll just hold a little bit more. We are here. You are fine, you know? So when we got to the waiting room, I remember he called the nurse. Do you remember that you have to call, right?
Right, to get inside, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he told them like that Bertha was there and they are waiting for us and all this stuff. And she was like, yeah, give us 10 minutes and we are gonna get her, you know? So I was on the wheelchair and then I just told him like, okay, I want to stand up now. And he was like, no, you are there, you are fine there. Why do you want to stand up? And I said, no, I don't know. I want to. So I just stand up and my water broke in that moment. So he was like calling them again.
Yeah.
She just broke her water and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was immediately get in and they were like just printing my bracelet, you know, and everything.
Yeah.
Then we went to the room, and when they examined me, they told me like, okay, you are 10 centimeters already.
No, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, when I heard that, I was like, no way. There is no time for epidural, you know? So I have to do it just like that. And I was like, no. At that time, I was just breaking on tears, you know, and telling my husband, no, I'm not gonna do this because I can't, you know. I had the first experience and I said like, no way, there is no way I can do it this or that length time with no epidural, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, just crying and crying a lot and no. Then I just saw a lot of people enter into the room, you know, and calling to the midwife, like, you have to be here. And maybe the midwife told them like, yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And I remember the nurse telling her, no, you have to be here now, you know?
Yeah.
I was so scared. Yeah. So no. It was like really panicking moment. But then Sebastian was born like 10 minutes later.
Wow.
It was so fast, so fast. We left the house at 4 a.m. and he was born at 4:40 a.m. 40 minutes later, he was born. If I took a shower, like maybe he was born on the car or maybe at my home. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God I didn't take that shower. I mean, because it's just a split second. When you feel that stuff, you be like, nope, let's go. And we women, we know when it's time.
Yeah, I think it was something inside me like, no, don't take that shower.
Yeah, thank God it didn't. No, but it's funny to hear your story because both kids, even though they're like a year and something apart,
it's 9 months.
Yeah, but they're like their birth story is so different.
Yeah.
Right? Like the first one you struggled and you had 25 hours of labor and you had to be induced and blah 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 blah. And the second one, boom, out.
I know.
But it's incredible, right? Like how your body adapts to a pregnancy, to a labor, to everything. Now, okay, so let me go to my story because
it's
gonna be funny.
Yeah, too.
I think you remember it because I told you, like, I was very scared when I got pregnant because like my mom, she had to have 2 C-sections. And me and my sisters. So my mom is short. She's a petite lady, and she didn't have the body to actually give birth. Yeah. My grandma had 17 kids from my mom's side. I know it's scary, but it's true. So I might have my grandma's body. Yeah, no, that's not for me. And so I was scared, and then I was asking all the people that had kids before me, and like, how was your labor? How was your labor? So I had a coworker that I might have her on the show as well. I'm trying to get her in the show, and I told her she has 5 kids, and I asked her like, how was your labors and stuff, and she was like, oh, Lily, it's so painful, it's so hard.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I was like, thanks, but you had 5. That did not stop you. She's like, I know, but I love kids, stuff like that. So
yeah,
she was very honest to me. She was very honest. She's like, don't take my example as what it's gonna be because we're all different. And she told me that, and I had other people saying, oh, well, no, it was very easy, blah blah blah. So long story short, when I got I started to have contractions on Monday after what was the day? Oh man, it was an holiday. I don't remember right now, but it was in May. So I think it was Memorial Day, something like that. Anyways, so the whole weekend I played a video game and I finished the whole video game. Because I was just on the couch. I was like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to be pregnant and don't do anything.
Yeah.
And then that night on Sunday, I slept really good. I went to bed early. I slept good. I was like rested. Great. The Monday after that, I woke up, and then in the morning, I kind of started feeling a bit weird. But I thought it was the Braxton contractions.
Okay.
And then I was like, no, they're getting more and more like, close together and stuff. So I got my ball, I got it out, and I started like rocking and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point at night that I told my husband, like, I cannot, let's go to the hospital. So we called the hospital 3 or 4 times. They asked me questions like, can you breathe? Can you talk? Well, the normal questions that they ask. Yeah. So it got to the point that I was talking on the phone with the nurse, like, like that.
Oh, God.
So they're like, yeah, you have to come, even if it's not the time, because my son was born 1 week before the 40 week, the 40 week mark. Yes. So they're like, even though it's not the time, let's do it. So I called a friend of mine because we do have a dog. So I called a friend of mine. I was like, you have to come pick up the dog. And she's like, oh, I'll be, tomorrow morning. I was like, no, you have to come right now because I'm not leaving to the hospital if my dog is not taken care of. And so she came after we left to the hospital. We got to the hospital. They got me the security man got me a wheelchair because I was walking so wibbly and I couldn't even walk properly. Got to the hospital, to the liver delivery, and I did the same thing as you. We called, and then I got there they were monitoring me first because they're like, oh, you're not on the time, and you still have 1 week to go. And I'm like, no, man, this is it, So they started monitoring me. I was 4 centimeters apart. So like, okay, we cannot admit you until you're 5 because you want to have a epidural. I'm like, I'm not going to go home because I live literally 5 minutes away from here. If I go in the car right now, go home, and I'll have to be back in 10 minutes tops. So I'm not going to waste gas. I was very bitchy about it. And I'm like, I'm not going to go home. And they're like, okay, then you know what? Walk around here, the corridors, for like an hour and a half, and then we'll check you. And so they did. I was 5.5, so they admitted me. I threw up before I went to the room.
Oh.
Yep. And then my husband said he doesn't remember that. And I was like, yeah, maybe you were gathering the stuff when I was throwing up, probably. And then I got to the room. I got epidural. Everything was great. And I took a nap.
Oh, really?
I took a nap, yes. So I think we got to the hospital around before midnight or so.
Okay.
And so I got the epidural around 1 a.m. or so. It's kind of blurry now. It's been almost 2.5 years. But then, so they came to check me, and my son was born at 7 a.m., 7:08. And so she came to check me, and it's funny because the lady, what is it called? The midwife, they were changing shifts. So they were going to change one to the other. And so she told me, she's like, maybe I'm not going to meet this little boy. I'm so sad, but I got to go now. It's my time to go. So another midwife will come. And I was like, well, okay, fine. I was awake already because they're like, hey, it's showtime. And so when they were preparing me to prepare to give birth, right? Because they do the whole thing, like, let's prepare you, let's to coach you what to do. I just pick up my legs basically, and I know it's a lot of info, but I pick up my legs and they're like, oh, stop, you're crowning. No. Okay, what does that mean? And they're like, I can see the baby's head. It's like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna do anything. I didn't even push. So the second time they told me, like, let's wait a little bit, and then when you have another one, we'll tell you, and then we can start the process. So again, I picked up my legs. They put those things that goes under your legs, and he was born. And the midwife wasn't even there. I didn't push. Yeah, I didn't push or anything. He just came out. And it's funny because they had to break my water when I was in the monitorization room because my water did not break.
Okay.
And that happens. And, so he basically came with the flow because the water didn't come, the whole thing didn't come out.
Yeah.
So maybe he was blocking the way of the water coming. And so he was pushed out with the water, So the midwife wasn't there. The nurses had to deliver him. And then the midwife entered the room very pissed. And she was like, what the heck is going on here? And she was like, I just got the baby. I just literally caught him because he was slipping out. And she was like, all right, let me see. And then they put me on me, and but it's funny, like, how it's different for everybody. Like, I was very scared of labor, and labor was the most easiest thing for me. Maybe the second one, if we do happen to have a second one, will be harder, or it will be even more easier. You never know.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah, it's always an, a thing that you would only know when you experience it,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's my story.
Yeah, I remember that. And believe me, when I was on my second labor and everything was good and the baby was out and all those things, I was like, wow, I did it and so fast. Ask Lily, because I remember that you were so fast too.
Yeah.
And no drama, just the baby's out and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was exactly it. That's good you remember it.
We're blessed. Yeah.
Yeah, we were blessed. That's true. That's true. And you know, it's I still, if I do get pregnant again, I think I will still fear that one.
Yeah, it's
But
natural.
they told me, they were like, once you're ready. Oh, this was after my son was born. Right after, they were like, "Mommy, once you're ready to have the second one, you know, please let everybody know that your first one was really easy." And I was like, "A second one? I just gave birth. What the heck are you talking about?"
I know.
No, if it was my husband saying, "Hey, when is the second one coming?" I'll be like, "Hey, hold off, buddy." But it was the nurses and the midwife, and I was like,
Yeah.
wait. Second one? No. Let's hold off onto that.
One at a time.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I did talk to you about this, and it was funny because when we first met each other, I don't remember. I kind of don't remember your story about your daughter because of the induced part. But I remember sharing with you my story because you asked me, like, after I asked you, you asked me, and I was like, I don't think you want to know.
Yeah. I was so impressed.
Yeah, me too.
Impressed that I remembered you in my second labor. So
Oh, you're so sweet. You're very sweet. But I mean, I think everybody in that hospital got a bit jealous of my story once I was like, they were like sharing their
did I
birth
tell you
story.
that you have a picture there? Just kidding.
What?
Kidding.
Oh, you scare me. Oh my God. Wait, what?
The number one on labor.
Boom. Oh yeah, yeah. They told me that. They're like, "Do you know that you're the topic of the whole hospital right now?" I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Whatever just happened here, it's very, very rare. Everybody's talking in the department about your story." I'm like, "I'm famous and I don't know. Where's my money?"
I know.
Yeah, the Portuguese lady that comes here and just drops a bomb, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
You have a monument there.
I know. It's oh man, it was really fun. It was fun. Um another topic though within kids. Did you had any issues with breastfeeding, either of them, or no?
Just with the first one, it was like the first week was hard. And for all these, the problems, like my breasts were sore, so much pain, like some cracking nipples. Sorry, but it was like that. It was a nightmare. And I remember some blood. I had to use a manual
Pump?
Yeah, because do you know the electrical ones got to your home like 1 month later? Oh, I don't remember. It's time to, like it takes time to get to your home when you request it. So I didn't have any pumps, so I had to buy a manual one. So I had to use it and get the milk to my daughter with a spoon or with a syringe. I don't know. I don't remember. I think it was with a spoon. Yeah. And it was horrible because I felt like guilty, like, oh, she's so little, and I am not able to do it, like for 4 days. I think so. Yeah, it was like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, we were with the lactation consultant, and it was way better. And after that, it was just happiness for her and for me.
That's good because again, it's funny how it's different from one another, because for me it was different. So for me, I came home with a machine because my nipples were too small for the baby. So
Okay.
they even gave me the nipple shield. I think that's what it's called, that
Yeah.
the silicone thing that you put on your breasts.
Yeah.
And I hated it
I
so
know.
much, so much. I hated it. And so did my son. He didn't like it either.
Oh.
So I was like, pressing my breasts to get the first milk, that it's the what is it called? I forget the name, but it's the transparent one.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
whatever. It's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's just the first one that it doesn't have any color or anything before the actual milk comes.
Oh yeah,
So,
the colostrum.
Cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I was doing that to press and give him in a spoon as well, and then they actually gave me a Medela machine in the hospital to start pumping
Yeah.
while I was in the hospital, and then I got to actually take that home. But then after that, they came and I think after 2 months or so, they came and they got the machine back.
Mm-hmm.
So I took all the stuff away, like the bottles and stuff. I kept it because they said it's for you, but just actual machine. Yeah. So, and then I got another one from the insurance that wasn't as good. He made a lot of noise, and it took a long time to do
Pump or the milk.
right. But it did the job. But I figured it out. So we went to the lactation consultant as well. It didn't really help me much. So I just figured out. I was like, no, you're gonna take my breasts as they are. I don't care if you cry or if I struggle, if I cry, but we're gonna do this, buddy. And I just basically shoved my breasts into his mouth, and he took it. And from there, like you said, it was all happiness for both of us. But I struggled a lot in the first couple of weeks.
I know. Even though we were so lucky, because I heard tons of stories at the Mommy's Cafe that some mastitis and all the things that it's really big issues, like a lot of pain, medicine and everything,
Or even people that they don't have milk, like my mom, for example, she didn't have any milk for me. She had some, but I was losing weight rather than gaining weight. And so she had to transfer me to the powder milk.
Okay.
And I'm 31 years old. So back then they were super expensive and they weren't that good. And then for my sister, 10 years later that she got pregnant, she got double the milk. So she got the milk so much that her breasts were huge. Ooh. And she had to give my sister milk and then go out in the I still remember to visit my mom at the hospital, and she would have to go to the bathroom and put compressors with warm water on top of her breasts and kind of press it down, and she was crying to get the milk out because she was getting
press herself, right?
Yeah, and there were no pumps back then. So, and if they were very expensive, and my family was kind of poor. So again, it's very interesting to see even how our bodies change from one kid to another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How was it? Yeah, how was it with your second one?
Oh, it was so easy.
See?
Mom, I know what to do. Don't be worried about me. I can handle it. I'm a champion. He was awesome. I mean, the first one was a challenge for my daughter because one of my nipples was flat. So she had to form it, and that was the big job for her. But with my second one was a paradise.
That's good. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like it changes so much from one to and only in a year and 9 months.
Yeah, and
you know
what to expect. You are prepared for the worst. Like okay, that happened to me with the first one, so I'm prepared if this happens again. It's like okay, I'm prepared. I'm ready. I won't feel like frustrated or I don't know. It was like, okay, it is what it is and I'm prepared,
Yeah, because you've been through one already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you see your child, because with the first one, I was like, oh my God, I'm not able to feed her. I don't know how long. Is she gonna gain weight, or the doctor is gonna tell me that no, she's gonna take some formula to help her. I was like so scared about it. But with the second one, I was so prepared, and I said like, okay, whatever happens, I'm prepared, I'm ready. So yeah, but it wasn't needed. My son was really good at it, and he stills,
Does he still breastfeed?
Yeah. With the first one, we were breastfeeding for 1 year and 4 months, just because I was pregnant. But I was planning to do it for 1.5 years. And I'm still with my son. So yeah, let's see.
Oh, that's good. I have a question though. This is a thing that I always wanted to know. So when, let's say you're breastfeeding your first child, right? And you said you fed for 1 year and 4 months. When you get pregnant, does the milk start dropping or does it still continue? Yeah.
I think it was the same. Just my doctor told me that I had to stop. She told me one date, you have to stop breastfeeding by this date because we don't want, remember the oxytocin that produces the milk, produces to the contractions. So she told me that we don't want earlier contractions, with your second one. For that reason, I don't know, she told me that, right? So for that reason, you have to stop breastfeeding your first one by that time. So I was like, no, I didn't want to, I was so emotional about it because really, I don't know, but personally, I really like to give the breast milk to my son and my sister,
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the lactation. So I was like, no, why? I had to plan, I had this plan to do it for 1.5 years. And then the doctor told me that. And I said like, okay, I have to, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, with some, I was scared about it because I was like, no, I heard so much stories that it's really hard to get rid of it, So I was scared about it, but no, my girl was so easy, so easy on that matter that I was like, I was crying.
Oh.
And she was okay, like, okay, no breast milk today, that's fine, And I was like, I left the room, closed the door, left the room, and I was like, wow, crying, with my husband. She was okay, but I feel so bad,
Yeah, because it's
so funny.
For us, it's kind of like a breaking point, right? That it's like your bond with them, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And they're growing. So that's kind of like a breaking point for us. But I mean, I'm glad she took it so well. You know, it's
Yeah.
easier for you that way. Like for my son, he at 6.5 months he stopped breastfeeding. I didn't have that much milk either,
Mm-hmm.
but he kind of like from one day to the other, I offered the breasts, and he was like, "Nope, I'm good." And
Oh.
I'm like, "Oh," but at that time he was already transitioning to the
Mhm.
formula.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just giving him the breast just because,
Yeah.
you never know. I
Yeah.
was like, no, I'm good. And then
Mhm.
from that on, he's done. I'm glad he did that because I feel like the more you give him
Mhm.
breast milk, I know it's good for them, but
Yeah.
developing wise, they will even start like pulling your shirts and kind of
Yeah.
asking for it, and I don't like that. Like I don't like when kids
Mhm.
actually grab
I
more.
know.
I think
Yeah.
that's a bad habit, but
Yeah.
that's just me personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sure.
I'm glad that my son did the 6.5 mark.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Jimena wasn't like that. She was such a lady, you know.
that's good. That's good.
I remember I was preparing her like 1 week or so before because I read sometime like I don't remember where that children are even babies are so smart that they understand everything. And one advice was that when you need something like really hard, just tell them and prepare them, with some time before to that
Yes.
uh, to that process. So I remember telling her like 1 week before or so, and I remember my husband telling me like, "Why are you torturing her?" With this, like with so much in advance. And I was like, no, I read it. I don't remember where, but I remember that it helped. So it helped. So I have to do it and try,
Yeah.
nothing so I tell her like 1 week before, like there is 7 days more of breast milk, and then we are gonna stop, and like every day. So I remember that day I told her like, okay, honey, enjoy it because this is the last one. Tomorrow it's not breast milk, it's just cow's milk, and that's it. Okay, I enjoy it and I love it, but we have to stop. So she's so easy in those process, that leaving the pacifier, those kind of things, so easy. And she was like, okay, no breast milk today. That's fine. And that's it.
Yeah.
See,
I think
I remember her the next day just using the sign language for asking for breast milk. And then I told her, no, remember, I told her yesterday that was the last time and there is no more. And she was like, okay, and just grabbed her cup with cow's milk, and she was like, okay, drinking the other thing.
yeah. So it's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's just kids are amazing. But it's funny you
Yeah.
mentioned that, you read something about it because, again, I've been taught a teacher and I know development of kids and stuff. So basically, my point is, uh, we underestimate kids'
Yeah.
intelligence at that point.
Yeah.
So I always told parents, like, when you have a hard thing to tell them, um, just tell them anyways. Just tell them,
Yeah.
like, listen, this is what's going on. For example, I remember when my grandparent died, for example, my grandpa from my dad's side died. My sister was, I believe, she was still young. She was probably 3 or 4 years old. And she liked my grandpa,
Mhm.
and when he died, my mom and dad were like, "Oh no, we're not going to tell her. This she's too little to understand." And I
Yeah.
said, no, I'll tell her. It's fine. I
Yeah.
was probably 13 or something like that. So I sat her down in the couch and I sat next to her. I said, hey, listen, grandpa died, and what it means is that he's not going to be here anymore with us. So you cannot see him, you cannot hug him, you cannot listen to him, but he's in our hearts. And he's
Yeah.
always been in our hearts. And if you want to talk to him, you can just talk. Just talk.
Yeah.
Even in your room or here, whatever, just talk or with me. And then you'll remember grandpa that way. But
Mm-hmm.
you won't, he's not here no more. And she looked at me and she goes, okay. And she left. And I was like, see how easy that was? Do you see, guys? I'm the parent here. I'm 13 years old. Same thing because my
Yeah.
sister had, when she was a baby, she had some seizures
Mm-hmm.
when she was 3 months old. And when she got older, the doctor said, tell her that she has this because she kind of developed a little bit of epilepsy.
Okay.
So we had to be careful with that and tell the school teachers and stuff that she
Yeah.
had that, so nobody could make her nervous or stressed out or stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I told my parents we have to tell her that
Mm-hmm.
she went through that. She's better now because the seizure stopped when she got a surgery on her
Okay.
nose and so she got her nose and throat clean basically, so
Okay.
everything got open. And she was 4 years old when that happened. So after that she stopped the seizures. So basically what happened was, uh, when she would develop, when it was really hot days or very cold days, her I think this is called
Tonsils?
tonsils.
Tonsils? Yeah.
Yeah, so the tonsils will go bigger and
Okay.
her nose will close, and so she will
Mm.
get a high fever,
Yeah.
and that will cause a seizure.
Ooh.
So that's what happened to her. So
Okay.
at 4 years old, she got a surgery, took her tonsils out. They
Mm-hmm.
opened her nostrils,
Mm-hmm.
and she stopped having seizures.
Good.
So, but she still had to have medication. But the thing
Yeah.
is, they said if one day she gets pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
she can get the seizures again because your
Oh,
body temperature changes, right?
yeah.
So
And
you have to make
hormones
sure
and
that exactly the hormones when she gets her period,
yeah.
if she gets stressed out and gets very, her body temperature rises, she
Yeah.
has to be careful and blah, blah. So I told my parents, like, I think it's a good idea to tell her that she
Yeah.
had this, like, and just talk a little bit about it. And
Yeah.
I believe she was 7 years old when
Mm.
I had the conversation with my parents. And they're like, no, she's too small. She doesn't understand, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'll take care of it. So I went to her and I said, listen, I have something to tell you. This happened to you when you were young. I didn't say a lot of it. I didn't say like it can
Yeah.
happen when you get pregnant or you get pregnant. No, but I said,
Yeah.
if you get stressed out at school or somebody pisses you off, come home, grab a pillow and, just punch the pillow or vent with me or something. Don't get worked up,
Yeah.
because if you get worked up, your body temperature rises and you can have a seizure. And she asked me, what is that? I was like, you won't remember because your brain shuts down, and that's what a seizure is. So
Yeah,
your
sure.
brain shuts down, and then you will only wake up afterwards, and
Mm-hmm.
then you won't even remember what happened.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't see it, you don't feel anything, but we see everything. And
Yeah.
believe me, it's not good to see, not good to experience. So
Yeah.
please
It's
be
so
careful.
scary.
Yeah. So at 7 years old, I kind of explained a little bit to her, and she was totally fine with it. And now she's a 21-year-old woman, and she's never had a seizure ever after the surgery. But she still says, to her boyfriend now, it's like, hey, listen, if some reason you see me start acting or becoming nervous or stressed out,
Mhm.
please tell me to go outside and, you know, yell or like punch something or so, because it can happen.
Yeah.
So she's aware, she knows.
Yeah.
But I
That's
think
good.
it's very important to tell
Yeah, as you said,
It's
we underestimate them. So that's the thing that we have to work with, like, okay, no matter how bad it is, you have to tell them, you
yeah,
know. They
yeah,
are they are the age that I don't know, they can understand you. So it was so easy with Jimena. So
yeah. The only thing is, you can't be just like telling stuff that you would say to an adult in an adult
yeah,
way. Just use your words, but use your words in a way that they will understand.
I know.
Like,
Yeah,
there's no more of this, there's no more of that. You had this, you had that, so let's be careful. But they will get it. They will get it,
yeah,
totally, totally. And I told this to parents as well at school, and once they had the talk with me, they were like, "Oh, actually, I tried that at home today, and it worked." And I was like, "Yeah,
yeah,
you know."
yeah. They are
So
so clever. They are clever. So
yeah.
yeah.
How is your life right now with the pandemic?
Oh,
Because
it was hard at the beginning. I think we are going through, you know. Yeah, it was hard with my oldest one because she was so used to parks and story times and all that stuff, or meeting with friends at the mall or something. Um, at the beginning, it was hard, but still, she was so easy with that change. um, she was like, okay, I cannot go to parks and I'm fine. But we are good trying to stay home as much as we can. We go for walks, and
yeah,
things maybe, like go to the bank or to the ATM, especially, and going through the car thing. Try not to um, interact with so much people, and because my husband is working, so we try to just reduce the risks, just with him, and that's it. So the hard part is for me and the kids.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think we are okay. uh, I feel bad, because uh, my youngest one, I think he doesn't remember what a park is, because he was so little that now he is so like, I don't remember even what is. So he is totally fine, of course, but I feel like, man, he doesn't know what a park is.
That's so sad.
Yeah, so sad. And that pisses me off, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, so, but I think, as we said, we received all the problems and we are so worried, but the kids are so resilient
mm-hmm.
that they accept everything. So they are totally fine. We just move uh, from to our house, and it was so good because we have a patio here, so the house is bigger and everything is better. So we can go for a walk and don't interact with other people, but just go out and like just spend some time um
Outside the house, yeah,
house. Yeah, so
yeah.
good, we are good. Sometimes I am like, "Ugh,"
Well, why?
Yeah, but they are totally fine. Totally fine, I think.
Why are you so frustrated sometimes? What's
Oh,
what?
because I remember those days, like going for something. I mean, it doesn't have to be so something like big. It's just like, okay, let's go for a walk to the mall and let's see what I can buy, or something like that. And No, now you have to go by yourself and that's it. Maybe my husband stays the car with my kids, and I have just to go to the store and buy the things that I want, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
I know, but you know what? One thing that this pandemic showed me is that we have so much to learn with kids.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they accept everything.
They live the moment.
Yes, I thought that my son will be bored at home, like being like asking to go out and stuff like that. No, he's totally fine just hanging out with his toys and us and just playing with his toys. He does go to daycare because sometimes it's too much,
Yeah.
But like he's totally fine. The only thing they want is to be fed, to be with the parents, and just have fun in that moment in particular, and that's it.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, this pandemic came to show us that we have to be more like them. We have to
exactly
hit the brakes and just think of what we're doing right now and enjoy that moment, and that's all it matters, right?
Yeah. Like we have something in Spanish that it says like the only real in life is change, so
say it in Spanish.
Yeah. In Spanish is lo único seguro en la vida es el cambio. So it's true, and they are so good at that, accepting changes.
Yeah.
At really, really young age, that we have to learn about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we struggle more than they do, like you said, because before we could go to the mall and do all this stuff, and now we're stuck, and they're like, yeah, but I'm fine. And you're just like, oh, but I'm worried that they're missing the park, and they're missing this, and they're missing that. But for them, they don't care because they're content with what they have.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, those are maybe secondary things, I think the primary ones are, as you said, my parents, food, my home, maybe,
my toys,
exactly.
And that's it.
And that's it, exactly. So they are like living just the moment and enjoying it, and that's it. They don't need more. So that's a great lesson.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Yeah. All right. So I do have one last question for you. And this one is funny because I've been asking all my guests the same. But it's I call it the three lesson question. So it is what are the 3 life lessons that you want to pass on to your kids? I know it's a hard one.
Yeah. I think the first one, it's always believe in God. I'm really a spiritual one.
You believe in God, yeah.
Yeah, because during all my life, it's small blessings that I have had,
Yeah.
That for me, it's really important that even though I know I'm not a church person, I really have a great faith. So I think that's a good one to transmit them, like to them, that it's good to believe in God no matter what. No matter what, I mean, bad things, good things, always say thank you, God, at every moment. The second one, I think, believe in themselves no matter what, too, because they are the only ones that know themselves, and they know their capacity and all the good things that they have to do the things. So always believe in themselves, and don't believe what other people that don't even know you what to do, You know, you are the only one that know your capacity, your strengths, your weaknesses, and you are the only one. You know,
Yeah.
you are in charge of your life, and that's it.
Right.
Right. And the third one, I think it's always try to be happy despite what other people's opinions, you know, that they have to remember that we are here to be happy no matter what. So they have to know first what they want, and after that it's just them, you know.
Enjoy the moments. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Try to
think
make
those
out of it.
are, yeah,
Yeah.
as long as they don't affect in a bad way other people, I think they have to try to be happy all the moments.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one of the most important lessons for me is believe in yourself for sure.
Yeah.
Always. And yeah, because you know yourself better the most. And
Yeah.
another one is don't pay attention to anybody. Just follow your heart and be happy the way you want to be. It doesn't matter what it is, you know. And yeah, I think that's very important lessons, because nowadays we kind of, you know, get in the tracks of like what the media says and what other people say here or there on social media, and we get caught up on that and we forget we forget the moment, we forget about ourselves.
Yeah, so, we live in the past or in the future, that we don't live the present. So
yeah, exactly. And I think that's very good lessons. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. I mean, maybe we can have another one, you know, later or so. What do you think?
Sure. I was so scared for this one.
Why?
My English is so bad that
no, it's not.
I just speak baby language now.
No, it's not. You did great. Don't you worry about it. It's great. You know what? I feel like I'm doing this for fun, and I think that it's very important for people to be themselves, even though my English is not perfect either. So I think it's good for us to be unique in ourselves, you know, because this is us, and this is what I want to transmit in my channel. Is like, this is me. I don't care what other people think. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. So if you like my English, good. If you don't like it, I don't care. You know, I wasn't born here. I'm sorry. I love this country, but you know, it is what it is. So and that's the thing. Like that's why I wanted to do this podcast and just have fun with it. Just have fun. You know,
that is so fun. Right?
Yeah.
More confident about it. So yeah, let's do it again.
Yay! Alrighty. Well, I'll make sure this will happen.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for being here. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, you too.